30 projections in 30 days going into the 2024 regular season for the New York Mets as we continue our month-long deep dive into the Mets 40-man roster. Today we are talking about one of the new additions this offseason, Harrison Bader. While prioritizing elite run prevention this offseason, the Mets help address this with an elite defensive outfielder in Harrison Bader. Across split time with the Yankees and Reds, Bader struggled offensively last year, slashing .232, .274, .348 with 7 home runs and a 70 weighted runs created plus in 344 plate appearances. But on the plus offensively, Bader has been a great hitter versus left-handed pitching, slashing a career .823 OPS and a .936 OPS versus Southpaws in 2023. But as said, Bader's main specialty is his defense, with a career plus 61 outs above average in center field with an elite outfield arm, as well as his other plus tools, such as his 86th percentile sprint speed and his 79th percentile base running value, with a career 6.7 BSR over 650 plate appearances. Come opening day, Bader is expected to be the Mets' starting center fielder, moving long-tenured Met Brandon Nimmo to left field to preserve his health. Hoping for a bounce-back year offensively, the Mets added Bader this offseason on a 1-year, $10.5 million deal as he heads into a 30-year-old season, also reuniting with his old college teammate Pete Alonso from the University of Florida.
As a Cardinal, he had his stretches where he looked fine. But again, over 162 games, he wasn't that good. It wasn't, again, they sent him out of there because they had so many outfielders and said he's the expendable one. Goes to the Yankees, has a great little playoff run where everyone's like, oh, he's great. He's an average player. If he's going to give you elite defense, which is fine. If he gives you anything offensively, it's kind of just the bonus of, hey, he's been brought in to be this Juan Lagares, Jake Marisnick, these same type of defensive first. Can hit left-handed pitching, guys, who always turn to shit when they put a Mets jersey on. So I'm not having the highest of expectations for another one of these noodle defensive first center field.
I've made my stance clear on him. Injury prone, below average offensively. I would have prioritized $10 million differently. I think it's quite a bit of money just to be glove only and injury prone, in my opinion, because like Andrew said, we've had a lot of these other defensive first outfielders before. Not getting this amount of money, especially on a team that had other needs. Like, if again, I would use this money more towards offense, more towards maybe pitching. But, he's here. Nothing we really could do about it now. Again, I'm still not high on it, but they wanted defense. So he's defense.
Listen, I'm not really the biggest fan of this edition. I think that, it wasn't the main guy I would have turned to. But there is value here, and I will give the benefit of the doubt here. As for his offensive season last year, I think there's a little bit better than that in the tank, but obviously he's not the greatest offensive player. He's here for his defense. He's here for his overall tools. To be honest, I'm okay if he is batting ninth in this lineup, and that's really just it. But there's some decent batted ball data that you can look at. Pulls fly balls decently, especially against left-handed pitching. He does swing a lot more than as compared to other people that just stare at pitches in the zone, lifts the ball fairly well. The raw power for him, I think, is a little bit underestimated. I think that, you could get a 10 home run to 15 home run bat if he's at his best, but he's here for his defense, and that's how he's going to provide the value. It might be tough to be behind this deal because of, Brandon Nimmo playing center field. That was something that the Mets did not really need to mess with. I understand them wanting to preserve Brandon Nimmo's health. Would I have done it with Harrison Bader? Probably not. As for him, I think that he can provide you some value as an offensive player, and then defense, obviously, and just overall tools as a player. He definitely could help you win ball games. As for his projections, I want to remind everybody that projections are not predictions. They are benchmarks of the player's current specific percentile outcome based on their predictive data and results. As for my projections, I decided to go with, in my opinion, each player's 75th percentile outcome, although a majority of player projections are constructed at the player's 50th percentile outcome. I personally wanted to have a median between sustainability and upside. It also gives you a decent look as to who I am high on going into the 2024 season. As for Harrison Bader, 388 plate appearances, slashing 242, 301, 388, 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in, a 91 weighted runs created plus, and a wins above replacement of 1.6.
The plate appearances seems about right. I think if he's full time, then that's a little low unless he got hurt again. But his projections can be affected by, if someone like Drew Gilbert comes up early and takes the job, or even somehow Jett Williams. But again, unless somebody takes his job, those are kind of the numbers you're going to see. At least it's some improvement overall from this past season. Still not average offensively, but at least it's some kind of improvement. But again, as long as he's providing defense and some kind of value, then that's what you really expect from him.
I just took a little bit deep dive into his numbers. I think I like this acquisition a lot more now. He got some good numbers at Citi Field. Besides one. But of the projections fine. The power is a little high. I doubt he, again, like Frank said, maybe outside players, indications, injuries. I just don't think the power number's that high. But again, the below average OPS plus and WRC plus, what he is. There's too many other outside things, injuries, other players who can take playing time away from him. So, again, it's Harrison Bader. The dude's mid.
I mean, one of the highest expected home run numbers for Harrison Bader is Citi Field. So, I mean, it's pretty much on the same level of plateau that I kind of projected him at. 10 home runs, I feel like he's just one of those who gets on a tear and then just cools off. Now, the thing about Bader is obviously going to be his health. You have some health concerns, obviously. This outfield, and they're giving the opening to somebody like Drew Gilbert. Maybe they're keeping that as an opening for the trade deadline. Short-term fix, 1 year, $10 million. I'm not really that upset about it. It's hard to get mad about a 1-year deal, and we'll see what he provides for us because he has had the hot stretches before, and he can provide a lot of things around the diamond.